A lot of stir was created late last week when a Virginia congressman and one from California proposed a law that could change the nation's ethanol mandate. The bill would lower the amount of ethanol in gasoline when corn stocks are low. Many see this as helping those who raise livestock and must compete with ethanol plants to buy corn. Market to Market's Mark Pearson reports.
The current renewable fuel standard, or RFS, requires U.S. motorists to power their cars with 36 billion gallons of alternative fuels by 2022. Ethanol from corn would comprise nearly a third of the total, with the rest being covered by biodiesel, cellulosic ethanol, and other so-called advanced biofuels, including ethanol derived from algae. But the RFS policy immediately drew criticism from groups as diverse as the Grocery Manufacturers Association and the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Concerns range from greater demand for corn would lead to higher food and feed prices to the lament that sensitive ground would be torn up to grow food because land had been diverted for fuel production. Two measures were introduced to even remove or reduce the effect of the renewable fuel standard. The first, introduced by Representative Bob Goodlatte, a Republican from Virginia who represents, among other constituents, turkey and poultry producers, calls for the immediate removal of the federal fuels mandate. While Representative Goodlatte believes the renewable fuel standard should be totally eliminated, he also acknowledged there may not be the political will in Congress to make the change. With that in mind, he joined with Representative Jim Costa, a Democrat from California and a longtime supporter of alternative fuels, to introduce the Renewable Fuel Flexibility Act. The Goodlatte-Costa plan reduces the amount of ethanol required in U.S. fuel when corn supplies are tight. According to the congressman, the current stocks-to-use ratio would have triggered a 25% reduction in the renewable fuels mandate. The legislation received support from the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, the American Meat Institute, and the Grocery Manufacturers Association. But the National Corn Growers Association, or NCGA, and the Renewable Fuels Association were quick to condemn the legislation. Officials with the NCGA said the measure would jeopardize progress already made by the ethanol industry and potentially cost jobs and reduce economic opportunity throughout rural America. And RFA officials said Congress should maintain the integrity of the RFS to help drive job creation and wean America from its addiction to foreign oil. The two measures were introduced a day after the National Research Council issued a comprehensive report on the renewable fuel standard commissioned by Congress. The study concluded that without government support, the biofuels industry would be unable to meet its 36 billion gallon fuel mandate by 2022. It also revealed that corn grain ethanol and, to a lesser extent, soybean biodiesel are closer to being competitive with fossil fuels, particularly when combined with tax credit and encouraged by RFS. According to the report, corn-based ethanol has contributed to pushing up the price for agricultural commodities, food, and livestock feed. But the authors said the greater use of distillers' dried grains in animal feed had to some extent muted the unfavorable effects on the livestock industry. The white paper also concluded cellulosic ethanol, which makes up nearly two-thirds of the total alternative fuels requirement, would not become viable commercially without rapid technological advancements, federal subsidies, strict adherence to RFS fuel mandates, and an increase in taxes on petroleum. The report was immediately blasted by everyone from Obama administration representatives to biofuels trade associations. USDA Secretary Don Vilsack said the report was inaccurate and based on old data. RFA officials pointed out the article ignores increasing global energy demand and the fact ethanol is displacing the need for what it called marginal fuels like Canadian tar sands.